and welcome back into our 2026 preseason interviews. We have John Mozerka, I guess first year with the varsity program at Felton Grove, which we're going to talk all about here in a second. But guys, I have to tell you, this year the videos are brought to you by Talk It Out NC. Talk It Out NC's mission is to reduce underage drinking by fostering open, honest, and ongoing conversations between adults and young people. Just like winning a big game, preventing underage drinking takes teamwork. Parents and teams can visit talkitoutnc.org for resources to start the conversation about the risks of underage drinking. Coach Mozerka, so last year, Felton Grove opens up. We do JV football only. I know some areas of the state, they just go right into varsity, but in Wake County, they do JV only. Some success on JV last year. Won 6 games, which is pretty good for a first-year program in total. A couple of those losses were pretty close as well. How'd it go last year? What kind of surprised you? And then what's been, I guess, the plan for this first varsity season and the theme of the off season?
Yeah, I mean, last year was, let's just keep it honest, a logistical nightmare for us. Like, we didn't have a school. So the first time we actually walked on a real football field was at Enloe High School in our first scrimmage with lines and everything. So we were on soccer fields and moving from gym to gym, renting gyms out. And the community was so great for us in Apex and Holly Springs. There was a lot of business owners that stepped up to the plate, and political officials and stuff like that really helped us out. So we were able to get Parks and Recs, we were able to get gyms, we were able to do that, but we were moving from spot to spot to spot, coming out of coaches' houses, all of our equipment and everything, and our pads and our helmets, and we didn't have anything. So it's a blessing now to actually have everything, and obviously
an actual off season.
Exactly, a real off season, a weight room, really, because we didn't have weights until December. But it's been absolutely a blessing, and the support and everything that we have, what we have at that school. I know these kids think it's normal, but the facilities and everything that we have is top notch over at Felton Grove High School. Wake County did a great job in planning that school. It's the largest square footage school in the state of North Carolina right now as far as public, and we love what we have, and we're taking care of that thing. And these kids, it's going to show on the field right away this year.
It is very nice. The athletic facilities are nice as well. We were there for that first JV game, which was very cool. That's a pretty big crowd for a JV game. That's bigger than some of the varsity crowds I saw the rest of the season last year. So tell me about the kids. How are they kind of feeling? Are they kind of feeling confident after last year? What's kind of their mindset? You can tell.
I think that they became believers last year, and there were a couple of middle schools that feed into us, not this past season, but the season before. They didn't have too much success, and we made them believe. We made them believe, and they worked so hard. Never complained one thing about having to transport from this field to that field, mid-practice, get up, go to another school or another Parks and Rec or another gym, all in the off season last summer. And then throughout the start of the season, we were doing the same thing. It's never one complaint. They just worked hard. And they saw it in the first game, against Green Hope, and they came out, and you saw that crowd. It was an absolute electrifying place, and the energy was crazy. And the energy was like that all year long and all season long with the crowds like that for us. So the kids work hard. We were able to do a lot of stuff in the weight room since December, since the off season, and we got a jump on a lot of the programs as far as the way we kind of set things up in the off season there. And we really believe that it's going to pay off this year immediately. And yes, we know that we're going to have a monumental task with our conference and stuff, and playing freshmen and varsity, some freshmen on varsity and some sophomores on varsity, with only a couple of juniors seeing the field on a regular basis as far as starting. But I think we're going to be okay. I really do. I think we're going to be highly competitive, and our kids really work hard, and the numbers are through the roof. I mean, we have almost 50 kids in a little over 50 in the freshman class that have signed up in the interest so far. And we have a couple schools still tracked in. And then so we should have a roster of about 100 kids, and we only really have 2.5 classes as far as at Felton Grove. That junior football class is very small.
100 without a senior class is pretty impressive, I would say. Obviously, it's not going to be a perfect translation from the JV last year to varsity next year, because there's going to be players that you're going to see this year that you didn't see last year because they were on varsity. Right. But I'm curious, just from pure X's and O's standpoint, the strengths of the team last year, and then kind of the areas you think you need to improve the most on in the off season? Just pure football. What's kind of just like the basics? Here's our strengths and here's where we need to get better at.
Yeah, I think our strengths last year was our box on both sides of the ball, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, running backs, and our quarterback. We were able to run the ball efficiently almost every game last year, and I think that's going to be another strength this year. We have a very big physical freshman line and you don't see that a lot in the South Wake area. So we are blessed. We know that we have those guys coming in, and some of them probably will be seeing some time with the varsity a little bit this year as freshmen offensive linemen. But we think they're up to the task. We have several running backs. We have 3 running backs that we're really high on right now. With Zeke Frank coming back next year from last year as a freshman, he's going to be a 2-way highlight player for us. And Sutton Gordon, same thing. And then we have a freshman that we think is going to be a real player in the Wake County and be on the scene in North Carolina really quickly, in Braxton Jones. So we're excited about him. He'll also be a 2-way guy for us. But we think the strengths of our team is really going to be the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Obviously, we need to improve our pass game, and I think we did that. There's a lot of receivers that came in from other sports that weren't playing football, and some basketball kids, baseball kids, and between Bryce Cook and Sutton Gordon, and we think Sam Lewis is going to be an absolute star as a receiver. Beckham Gratzinger, who came over from the baseball team, and Noah DeBrew, whose father also played at ECU. We think he's going to be a star in the making too as a receiver.
How about your quarterback spot? Is it going to be the same kid from last year in the JV team?
Yeah, it's going to be Chase Watts. Chase Watts will be a junior. He'll be one of our few junior starters next year, and we think that he led us in rushing last year. He's a true dual threat quarterback. He's improved his pass game completely. Our offensive coordinator, Josh Evans, has done an outstanding job with him also as a quarterback coach, and we're going to see that pay off quickly. He looks the part. He's filled out physically, and we think we're going to be able to do a lot with him this year.
I believe his dad coaches on the Duke football staff. Is that right?
Correct. That is correct. He was at App State before this, and the last couple of years now at Duke. Correct.
Gotcha. Well, let's flip it over to on that defensive side. Who are some of the guys on that side of the ball that people need to know about?
Yeah, let's just start with the D line. Chase Phillips. We have 2 twins. One of the twins plays D line, and Calvin Bissett, Kaysen and Calvin Bissett. Kaysen plays a little bit of linebacker for us. We think those are going to be dynamic box players for us. Chase Phillips is going to be also one of the juniors that's going to be seeing time. Then we have an O-line, D-line guy that's a big guy, our big guy on the team, Jacob Myers, he did a great job at offensive tackle, has been really training hard, but we think he's going to do some damage on the defensive line this year too. So we're excited about those guys. Linebacker, we feel there's going to be 2 freshmen that are going to play a little bit here at linebacker, and one is Calvin Patterson. He's from the Arizona area. Last year he was over at Holly Ridge, and then also Braxton Jones. We feel he's going to do a great job. His brother played at Friendship a couple of years ago and was a great player and plays at Gardner Webb right now.
Gotcha. Anyone else you want to name?
Yeah, I think the defensive backs, I think we're gonna be okay there too. We have Jesse Garcia who came in from the West Coast too, and Easton Walker is developing we thought he was like a track kid, but he's developing into an absolute great cornerback. And Sam Lewis, our safety, we think we thought he's going to be a star receiver, but we think he's going to be a really good player at safety also.
Okay. How about specialist wise? Do you have any kind of leaders in that group?
Yeah, Sutton Gordon's a dynamic return guy for us. He's a great star on the lacrosse team, but we think that we can make him a dual sport star. If he sticks with it, and we think on Friday night he's going to shine also on the special teams. He did some stuff, had several returns last year for touchdowns. But we think he's going to be a pretty good player back there. We had kickers by committee last year, so we actually used 4 different kickers. All of them made extra points and field goals and kickoffs. So we had 2 of them were soccer players that are coming back and forth. So we feel that's a real deep position for us too, is the kicking game. So if we can get somebody that can put that ball in the end zone on the kickoff, that's what we're working for a little bit. Get some touchbacks continuously, and play a little field position that way. It would help us out. So we think we're fortunate in the kicking game also.
It makes sense because it's kind of a good soccer area as well.
Absolutely.
Outside the area that's watching this. Coaching staff wise, I don't have your questionnaire done yet, so I'm going to ask you about the coaching staff. Any new changes to the coaching staff this year, and tell us about your coordinators and everyone.
Yeah, we have a couple new changes. What's been unique, obviously there's been at a new school, education wise, we were able to get the teachers they wanted, right? Kind of hand pick them, and the number of applicants for teaching positions and other positions in the building, but also on the football team, as far as the staff positions, there's been enormous amount of resumes submitted and applications submitted. So we're able to really pick the guys we want to have on this staff and make it really unique. None of us have worked together. All of us have came from different areas, either college, head coaches from different high schools, or coordinators of different high schools at different states, different levels, all that stuff. So we're able to put together a really dynamic staff, and with tons and tons of football knowledge. So, Coach Evans, who came to us from, Campbell University, and before that, he was over at Western Harnett. He's our offense coordinator and quarterback coach. We have Coach Schuster, who came from us. Actually, last time he was coaching was in Tennessee and Washington. So he was a coordinator out there. So he came to us, and he's our defensive coordinator, did an outstanding job last year. And we've been able to make a couple additions this year also as coaches and stuff. We have a couple coaches coming up, one from Panther Creek. We have another one coming from a middle school here locally in the area that's coming up, and we think he's going to be a dynamic coach, and Coach Horton. And then Coach Pendergraph, offensive line coach. He was a Roseville offensive line coach the last couple of years. I think he's an absolute dynamic coach. Just listening and how he connects with the kids and how his mind and how he's able within our system really create things. And I think he's going to absolutely enjoy it and have a blast actually coaching these kids here at Felton Grove. They're such smart IQ football players, and we're able to do a lot with them.
Awesome. Last I have for you, I'm kind of curious about, the schedule. It's going to be your first varsity schedule. I'm sure it's not going to be the same as what you had last year on JV. So it's kind of tell us about what you have going on in non-conference. And, of course, they play in the Triangle 6A, 7A with Cardinal Gibbons and Mill Creek. And there's some other good programs in there as well. So, about the strength of that conference. Yeah,
Sanderson, they're loaded with talent. You have Cary, which is going to be a great little rivalry for us. And obviously, Holly Springs is right down the street from us. So the conference is a good conference. Obviously, the top two, are perennial state powers. We know that. And we have to get to that level to match it. And we intend to do that really quickly. Obviously, finding games for one-year contracts is tough. It's really tough. I mean, we put it out to all the local teams and everything we'll play you guys, please, please, please. They all have schedules and stuff like that are 2 and 3 year deals. So, we'll play a lot. We'll play a couple Durham teams this year. We'll play Randleman this year. We have Green Hope again this year to kick us off. And I know that they're a very talented Green Hope school or team this year. So we know that's going to be a tough game to start our first ever varsity game. But we tend to be highly competitive, and I can't wait for that game to be here tomorrow, hopefully.
It'll be here before we know it. This time of year always goes by very fast.
Yeah.
It'll be a blink, and then it'll be week one. So, Coach
absolutely.
Mozerka, I wish I had more to ask you, but I don't really know yet until we start seeing you guys play varsity football. So I'm gonna leave you with this. I really appreciate it, and best luck to you in the first season. And of course, guys, for anyone watching the video, it's brought to you by Talk It Out NC this year. From facts about the effects of alcohol to conversation starters, join Talk It Out NC this year for safe, smart choices. Together, we can make a difference. Cheer along with us to create a safer, brighter future at talkitoutnc.org. Coach Mozerka, appreciate it again, and curious to see how everything goes in year one of varsity football.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be lighting up the scoreboard hopefully soon, and next year we'll have more to talk about the specific players. Absolutely.
All right, man. You take care.
All right, you take care. Bye.